Take it away.
Perfect. Hi, everybody. Thank you again for taking the time to join us today. We have the incredible Olivia Newman here, who is the director of Where the Crawdads Sing. Olivia, I'm just going to ask a quick question before I throw it to all of these amazing women. You had the daunting task of taking a book that was kind of a cultural phenomenon and adapting it to the big screen. What drew you to this project, and how excited were you that you got to get your hands on this?
I mean, this book is what drew me to the project first and foremost. I read the book like so many people. I could not put it down. I read it in 2 days and was left a bit gutted by it. It's one of those stories that just haunts you. And so when I, found out that they were adapting it to film and that Lucy Alibar was writing the script, I was super excited and just had this, feeling that I needed to be the one to direct it. And Lucy's script was so beautiful. And she's such a lyrical writer that I knew we would have, a really wonderful time collaborating on bringing it to the movie version. But it was definitely a labor of love to bring something that you love so much and want to make sure you capture, the essence of the book and not leave, no one wants to leave anything out, but you have to find ways to sort of make it into the movie version. And so it was just a wonderful, really wonderful and experience and such a gift as a filmmaker.
Well, I think we can all agree you did an outstanding job. I'm going to throw it to our panelists who I know also have questions for you. So I'm going to start with Clarissa Camacho from Queen Bee Latina. Clarissa, what's your question for Olivia?
Hi, Olivia. Thank you for speaking with Queen Bee Latina today. I just wanted to say there were so many seamless transitions as well as a seemingly natural chemistry between all the actors in the film. So how rigorously did you stick to the script while filming?
How rigorously did we stick to the script? We were pretty faithful to the script, I would say. I can't think of any major changes on the day if we changed a few words here or there, but the process of writing the script was so laborious and we put so much into making sure that the script was ready to shoot before we started production, so that we didn't have to do a lot of rewriting while we were shooting.
That's very telling of not only the script writer, but also the actors and their abilities to adapt. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Great. Our next question is going to come from Candy from Candy Palooza.
Hi, Olivia. It's great to speak with you today.
Hi.
Because of the film being a book adaptation, what was one thing that you said, hey, this has to be on the film, like this has to make it, that was, a part of the book that you can share with us?
I think it was really important that we capture Kaya's relationship to the marsh and all that she really learns how to survive because of her relationship to nature. That's key to understanding who Kaya is as a character, and it's key to her survival. And so, finding a place where we could film those landscapes and get the marshlands and the swamps and the beach, finding all of those very specific locations that Delia describes so well in the book was really important. And, the other thing was the time period is a very specific time in American history. And it was really important to me that we capture it accurately. We're telling the story through Kaya's eyes. And so the way that she relates to, the people in town, to Jumpin' and Mabel, that's all very specific to Kaya. But at the same time, we wanted it to feel as grounded in history as possible. And so that was really important to me to get that time period right.
Awesome. I'm very excited for everyone to see it.
Thank you.
Our next questions come from Kathy Cupgit from Live with Kathy.
Thank you so much for being here. I took my son, who by the way is 9, last night to see the movie. And there are certain scenes, I literally put his head in my chest, covered his ears. I'm like, don't listen to the SEX scenes. But I want to say, I need to share with you, the movie is exquisite. And when we got in the car, to the moment we got home, to the moment he went to bed, he had a million questions for me. And
Wow.
from this, I don't want to spoil the movie, but the scene where the social worker is talking, and the way he spoke and the words that he used, my son was like, why was he talking like that to me? And then, and then he wanted to know so many questions, and it was amazing. It was absolutely beautiful. As I said, I stand by it. It's exquisite. So I wanted to ask you, what is it that you would like your audience goers to learn from Kaya?
I mean, I think a big takeaway is that we are stronger than sometimes we think. And that, in the face of injustice, we can draw great strength, not only from ourselves, but from our connections to other people. That, Kaya spends so much time alone, but the connection that she has with Jumpin' and Mabel, with Tate, with the people that actually see her and understand her and love her, give her that strength and give her the sense that she's worth fighting for. She is worth saving. And so, I know there will be lots of conversations, just as, when you finish the book, you want to talk about it because there's lots of conversations to be had. Nothing is black and white about this story. And that's, for me, that's, one of the best things to happen after a movie is that it makes you kind of look back and think and put yourself in someone else's shoes and ask questions and, how would you have done it? And, and have all those conversations with your kids. I mean, that I can't ask for anything. I can't ask for a better response than your son's.
No, it was wonderful because one of the analogies lately that I've been trying to teach him is, a boat is sitting on water and it sits on water, but the moment it has a hole, it starts to sink. So that's why your mind has to be like that boat, no holes in it. And last night when we were watching, we got in the car, he goes, her brain didn't have any holes. And at first I was like, what? And then I realized what he was talking about. I was like, oh my God. He's like, even though with all the obstacles she faced, she still believed in herself.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So it was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So wonderful.
I really felt like Daisy did such an incredible job because you really felt her pain, and the young actress who played the younger Kaya. I mean, as all of us are parents, and we sat there and I was devastated. I think I cried through 90% of the film, even though I read the book. I knew exactly what to expect. I felt the pain and the loneliness and the isolation and her desire to have a better life, but just felt like she was so isolated from it.
Yeah.
I just thought Daisy was just outstanding.
Yeah.
Just everything you could ask for in an actor to partake that role.
I agree. And I think both of my Kayas were extraordinary. I mean, Daisy captures all of those complexities of Kaya, of being somebody who is incredibly isolated and lonely and sensitive, but also has this, really develops a sense of self-worth and the strength to say, you know what, I'm not going to follow in this cycle of violence. I'm going to save myself. And, Jojo Regina, who plays little Kaya, she's one of the most extraordinary young actors I've ever worked with. She prepares the same way an adult actor prepares. She gets herself into the emotional state that she needs to be in the same way I would work with an adult actor. And I was just blown away consistently by, her incredible empathy. She would imagine what Kaya was going through. She would empathize with her, and she would suddenly just be in that place. And it was really wonderful to see.
She was incredible. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Our next question is going to come from Diane from 3 Decades, 3 Kids.
Hello, thank you for talking with me.
Hi.
I'm sure there were many, many powerful moments, but if you had to narrow it down, what would be the most powerful moment of directing this film?
It's really hard to narrow it down to one. I mean, I'll just say, there were many moments where we would be boating home. We would, shoot out in the marsh on boats all day. And it's excruciating to shoot on boats. It's so you're not just on one boat, you're a fleet of boats, because you have your, hair and makeup team on one boat, and you have your props on another boat. And so it's getting all these boats out into shallow waters, and then you'd pick a location to shoot and the water would be too low. And then you'd have to, the boats would get stuck and you'd have to, change gears, and there's no shade in the marsh because it's all grass. And so, be out in that Louisiana heat in June. But then, we would shoot until the sunset, because we need every minute of daylight that we could get. And we'd be boating back, and just, the crew would be quiet, and we'd all just be boating through these marshlands and looking around us. And there were so many moments where I would just start crying, like,
I can't even imagine.
I mean, what I would say to my cinematographer, we have the most incredible jobs. How lucky are we?
Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the fact that that you're lucky makes you just that much more of a gift.
Yeah, it really felt like a gift, a real gift, that we were able to go and photograph this gorgeous landscape, which, is, at risk all the time of disappearing. I mean, we saw it disappearing as we were scouting, places that used to exist are underwater now. So to be able to capture it on film and really honor it the way Delia does in her book was extraordinary.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our next question is going to come from Robin from Mom the Magnificent.
Hi, Olivia. Thanks
Hi.
for taking the chat with us today. I just want to say congrats on bringing this beautiful book to the big screen. It is a hauntingly beautiful movie, and I liked it even more than the book. And right, but you did such a wonderful job bringing this story to life on the big screen. So
wow, thank you. Thank
so
you.
I'd love to know, we get a really cool original song, Carolina, by Taylor Swift. Could you tell us how that came to be, and was she eagerly excited on board, or how did that come to be?
Yeah, it was a very serendipitous experience. So Taylor had read the book like all of us, and just, was completely haunted by it. And when she heard that we were making a film out of the book, she really wanted to write a song for it. And it was during, we were in script development, we were still working on the script, and she just heard the song and had to put it down and recorded it and sent it to us. And so we had this thing. And what was amazing the first time I heard the song was I had the feeling that sort of haunts me the most about the book is that image of Ma leaving Kaya at the beginning. It's, I have 2 young kids. And so, the idea of that is just overwhelming. And so when I heard her song for the first time, I had that same emotional reaction I had to reading that moment in the book. And so much of the song is Kaya longing for her mother and, feeling, isolated and ostracized because she doesn't have that, that mother to protect her anymore. And so it really hit me emotionally. And so then going into production, I heard the song. I only got it for, I think, 48 hours. And so then I had to just remember it. But it's, it really stayed with me, and it felt like the perfect emotional space that you feel that you're in at the end of the book. And that's where I wanted the end of the movie for us to feel that same sort of emotional release that you have at the end of the book. And so that song to me was going to be the perfect ending. And so, having it before I even shot was quite a gift.
Yeah, it really was the perfect pairing. I can agree with the emotional feeling. My daughter and I read the book together. And so we finished it only a couple weeks ago. So it was around the same time that the song was released.
Oh, wow.
So it really was
Yes.
beautiful song to pair with. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Oftentimes you hear a song that doesn't feel like it fits the movie, kind of feels a little disjointed.
Yes.
And I honestly felt like this one was like a perfect harmony of, no pun intended, of the book, the movie, and the song all melding together.
Yes. Well, it's interesting because even though we were we were still writing the script, we knew what the ending was going to be.
Right.
That was always clear because it was going to be the same as the book's ending. And so we already knew emotionally what that feeling was going to be at the end of the movie. And so the song, it felt like such a match tonally.
So great. We have another question coming from Kristen from EA Extreme Fun.
Hi, Olivia. I love the movie. It was really good.
Oh.
I had a question. The scene where little Kaya had to witness her father abusing her mom,
Yeah.
it was a pretty intense moment. What was it like directing that with the child watching and being in the moment? Was it hard to like a hard scene to film?
Yeah. It was actually, it was one of our first, one of the first scenes we shot. It was in our first week of filming. And you know, the great thing is that I had these wonderful actors playing Ma and Pa. And we had time before we started shooting to spend time together. We went to the park together. We had rehearsals. And so Jojo felt really comfortable with Garrett and Anna. And she, you know, we had prepped her for those scenes. She knew what happened. You know, of course, it's all stunts. And so it's, you know, it's just performance. And so we had a chance to talk through all of that. And Jojo, you know, she, like Daisy, is a wise old soul in a tiny little person. So she understood it. But, you know, it was really important to me that she and Garrett, who plays Pa, does a beautiful job of playing that character, that they really bond and feel, you know, very close before we shot that, so that, you know, there would be absolutely no worry on Jojo's part that any of it was real.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you. Is there anybody have one more follow-up question? We have time for one more. Okay, Clarissa, you want to ask your last question?
So there is a lot of symbolism and strong themes in the film. Are there any you would like to identify for the audience?
Well, I will say, it's funny, during prep, when we were, you know, getting ready to shoot, there was a scene, you know, where Kaya's reading her family names in the Bible. And I went back to the book to sort of figure out, well, would it be from her father's side or her mother's side, whose Bible? If it was her mother's Bible, whose names would be in there? And so I reached out to Delia to talk about whose names should be in this Bible and how would they be written. And she said, wow, you know, this incredible attention to detail. And she sent me an email saying, it is the details that make a feather, end of movie. And I printed it out and put it over my desk, because it's, you know, that's, you know, it's the details that make something really beautiful. And I think what's amazing about Kaya is that she's able to see the details of things in ways that other people might not. And that's what makes her so smart, is her attention to detail.
Thank you. I want to say that it was very touching to see a movie really depict the dangers of classism, sexism, racism, and domestic abuse. It was just really overwhelming. I felt so fulfilled by the end because there were so many different things that were touched upon in a beautiful way.
Oh,
like
good.
it wasn't in your face. It was just there. And congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad.
Thank you all so much for taking your time to speak with us today. Olivia, thank you again for this beautiful, haunting, stunning, remarkable movie. And remember, Where the Crawdads Sing open nationwide this coming Friday, July 15th. Thank you all.
Thank you,
Enjoy
guys.
your weekend. Thank you
Thank
again.
you. Thank you so much.